My name is Matty, and I am not very good at pickleball. This, on the other hand, is Jack. Jack is very good at pickleball. In fact, Jack is a professional pickleball player. He's top 20 on the APP Tour and was selected second overall by the Chicago Slice in the Major League Pickleball Challenger League draft. That's right, this is a real graphic created by a real professional sports team. Now today Jack is going to join us in the backyard to play some games with me and my friends who, no offense to them, are also not very good at pickleball. We're then going to take a look at the full Real Clear Stats data report to scientifically determine once and for all, are professional pickleball players actually good at pickleball? Now Ben over at Real Clear Stats, who is playing with us today, has pulled the data on every single shot from every single rally from every single Major League Pickleball match in 2023 and 2024. That's over 1,000 games, 40,000 rallies, nearly 450,000 hits. Now a few months ago we actually pulled this data for one of our backyard games to scientifically prove that I do in fact stink at pickleball. Go check out that video, but we're going to be able to use the data from this video as our control data. So without further ado, let's see how it went. Now Andy and I actually won the very first rally of the match after Tim dumped a third shot drop into the net. Our first service run really set the tone for the afternoon. Our thirds were simply not good enough to get to the kitchen, and Jack, who by the way is ambidextrous, could put the ball away with ease. With Jack back on serve, we set out to once again pick on Tim, but when we got the high ball we wanted, it wasn't so easy to get it past Jack. Also, like I mentioned earlier, I do in fact stink at pickleball. One missed return turned into another missed return, and all of a sudden we were spiraling.
That's in the zone! Oh, the Vulcan bounce.
Jack was cooking, and before we knew it, we were facing a game point down 10-0. And just like that, we had been pickled. Mercifully, this game only lasted 18 rallies, and Jack finished with a staggering 97.8% accuracy rate. He committed just one error all match on this hyper-aggressive running speed-up. The other 44 shots he took all stayed in play, including 7 rally-winning shots and another 7 hits that immediately preceded a rally-winning shot. These hits get logged as an opportunity created. After watching Tim dump the first third shot of the match into the net, Jack wisely decided to take matters into his own hands and claimed the remaining 9 third shot attempts for himself. On the other side of the net, Andy and I only kept 78% of the balls that we saw in play. Of our 49 non-error hits, we only had 1 rally-winning shot, and 9 of these hits immediately preceded a rally-winning shot for the other team. These shots get logged as opportunities yielded. The whole catastrophe was made worse by a bad case of the yips on our return of serve. We gave up 4 freebies. You just can't do that. Finally, we can see here Player Impact Plus charted over the course of the game. Player Impact Plus is a stat that shows us a player's positive, or in mine and Andy's case, negative impact on the game, and is calculated as follows: +1 for a clean winner, +0.75 for forcing your opponent to commit an error, -0.25 for committing a forced error, and -1 for committing an unforced error. Game 2 got out of hand even quicker than the first game. It immediately became apparent that Jack was trying to exert as little energy as possible and still laughing at us. After a few more missed returns, Jack was once again cooking, forcing error after error from myself and Tim. But at 7-0, with a golden pickle rapidly approaching, I saw my opportunity and I took it.
Post call replay.
Now after hooking our way into a side out, the unthinkable happened. Jack got a little too cheeky. We had actually managed to score a point. Our victory was short-lived as Jack quickly got back to doing what he does best, making me look like an idiot.
So pretty. It looks like you're going the other way. It does.
And then it was pickleball's biggest, baldest nerd who delivered the final blow. Even though we defied the odds and scored a point, this game was arguably a bigger blowout than Game 1. It lasted only 16 rallies, and 13 of our 40 touches were errors, including 6 unforced errors. We only had 3 rallies on serve, and failed to reach the kitchen on any of those attempts. Not that it would have mattered, as Jack's team won all 7 of the kitchen rallies, and all 5 of their speed-ups either resulted in rally wins or harmless resets. Game 3 followed a familiar pattern as Jack's team found a big lead early. After watching Jack switch between his left and right hand all day, Tim decided to give the offhand speed up a try for himself without much success. Fortunately, Jack was there to show him how it's done on the next rally.
There's the righty.
The more we played, the more it became apparent that Jack was just having fun, kind of playing with his food. Here he gets a high dink, but after faking high, forcing Tim out wide, a few hits later he's rewarded with an even easier put away.
Great job.
Resigned to defeat, but still chasing that thrill of scoring a point, Tim decided to use one of his team's 6 service attempts on a nasty Nelson. Honestly, considering that we had only managed to luck our way into 1 point, it might not have been a bad play. Nonetheless, Andy stood his ground in Jack's shadow, and they were able to secure a victory on the next point. This was our second pickle of the day, but at 22 rallies, it was the longest game so far. However, there is a little bit of an asterisk there. Yeah, we messed up the score. It happens. Anyways, at this point, you don't need a PhD in statistics to start to sense a pattern. This Jack Munro guy might be pretty decent, but he was about to face his toughest challenge of the day. He would now have to carry me to a win. Now, I'd seen enough to know that Jack was definitely better off without me as a partner, so I was going to essentially do that. I was going to get out of the way, let him cover 99% of the court, and if I did have to hit a ball, I was going to keep it in play. I was going to have a 100% accuracy rate. Now, I might yield opportunities. I might give them the easiest, softest floater of a third shot of all time. Not going to commit an error. So, let's see how it went.
That is some pro level shit. You're at 100%. Come on, let's keep it.
Okay, so we didn't get the golden pickle, but we did still get the standard 11-0 pickle, and I completed my goal of achieving 100% accuracy. It was a truly astounding experience to only hit 4 balls, including these 2 aggressively terrible shots, and still be up 10-0 start. We ended up playing 2 more games just to round out our data set, so put on your thinking cap, push up your glasses, and let's get into the backyard real clear stats data deep dive. Our dataset with Jack includes 6 games with my friends and myself. We each played against Jack 3 times and with Jack at least once. Going forward, my friends and I will be referred to collectively as the losers. Now, in our controlled dataset, we have full stats from 8 games that the losers played a few months ago against each other. Let's start off with some match facts. Jack, unsurprisingly, went 6-0 with a 64-2 scoring advantage. Overall, his team won 80% of all rallies and pickled the opposition 4 times. In our controlled dataset, each match lasted an average of 44.6 rallies, and the serving team won 37% of their service rallies. When we threw Jack into the mix, games only lasted 18 rallies, and we scored 2 points in 26 service attempts. One of those points came on an assist from the Sun that would have had Lee Waters reeling. Now, as you know, the returning side has a massive advantage in pickleball. Despite this, we only won 24% of rallies on return against Jack. Now, if you thought these percentages would be even more skewed in favor of the literal pro, keep in mind this was essentially a glorified 2 versus 1. His opponents that ended up committing an error every 9 hits when playing against him are the very same losers that he is tasked with single-handedly carrying the victory. As a result, he took 72% of all shots for his team and was constantly running himself out of position just to spare his partner from the perils of attempting a routine cross-court dink. Now let's move on to some player stats. Jack kept 94.4% of his shots in play and hit a rally-winning shot once every 5.9 hits. The 2023 MLP average was one rally-winning shot per 15 hits. The losers only managed to keep 77% of their shots in play compared to 88% in the controlled data and had an absolutely disgusting rate of one error every 4.4 hits. The losers' error rate was almost twice as frequent as it was in the control data, and it wasn't just because Jack forced so many errors. We committed unforced errors at a much higher clip too. The pressure of trying to complete this impossible task of icing Jack out was just too much for our fragile 3.5 psyches to handle, and we crumbled. What little success we found was infrequent, just one rally-winning shot every 39 touches, and it only resulted from those rare instances where we were able to punish Jack's hyper-aggressive court coverage. Jack finished with an average player impact plus rating of 4.3 and generated 1 point of player impact per 10 hits. Now, for reference, Riley Newman led all MLP players in 2023, and he generated 1 point player impact plus per 22.4 hits. That's not even half as efficient as the number Jack put up in the backyard. Even in the control data, us losers were fighting for our lives, just trying to stay above zero in player impact plus. Against Jack, it was hopeless. Yet, when given the luxury of partnering with a pro, our PI plus soared to new heights. However, the caveat here is that this was on very low volumes. When it came to firefights, our accuracy also took a nosedive. Firefights that we initiated were dead on arrival, and we were easy targets with toothless counters. Zane Navratil was among the league leaders in MLP in 2023 with a plus 30% net win percentage on firefights that he initiated. This is a number that Jack more than doubled. When it came to counters, a negative number is typically par for the course. Anna Bright's negative 8.1 net win percentage on counters was third among MLP women in 2023. With that bit of context, it is fair to extrapolate that Jack's plus 41.7% net win percentage on counters is godly, and our negative 66.8 net percentage is just total garbage. The only thing we had working in our favor was that we make absolutely stupid decisions.
Oh my god, that is the dumbest shot you could have hit. That is a 2-5 shot. I'm in his head, let's go.
Finally, we'll be breaking down the early rally detail, and we'll be examining the accuracy and success of the first 5 shots of each rally. Accuracy is simply a measure of the percent of shots that you keep in play, while success is a measure of the actual quality of those shots. A third shot or a fifth shot is recorded as successful if both players from that team arrive at the kitchen, or if that team wins the rally prior to arriving at the kitchen. We'll start off with the first and second shots, which normal people just call serves and returns. In our control data set, we got a respectable 96% of our serves in play and generated a freebie off missed returns about 4% of the time. Against Jack, we once again wilted under the pressure, and we barely got 80% of our serves in. We only attempted 26 serves across 6 games. It was hard to get into any kind of rhythm. One of those 26 attempts was a failed nasty Nelson. Look, I'm the editor of this video. I just got to mention I got all 6 of my serves in. We can move on. Turns were equally problematic, and unfortunately, that's kind of on me. We ended up giving a freebie away once every 6th attempt. But the real carnage lies in the third shots and the fifth shots. Look, at this point, I'm kind of hoping we've reached a place free of judgment, but it goes without saying, getting to the kitchen 8% of the time is not good. Even in the control data, a third shot drop is basically a coin flip for us. It's a 50-50 success rate. We're only getting to the kitchen 30% of the time. At the end of the day, a third shot that is good enough to advance on against a 3.5 opponent that we normally play, it's just different than a third shot you want to advance on versus a pro. Jack did not hesitate to take advantage of that. In fact, the only successful third shots I could find when scrubbing through all the video that I took is that unforced error that we talked about earlier and this net assisted beauty from Andy that still resulted in 0 points.
Me! Yeah, baby, let's go!
So, in conclusion, I am scientifically declaring that Jack Munro is, in fact, okay at pickleball. All right. Jeez. All right, if you made it this far, go ahead and throw me a like, subscribe. Go ahead and throw Jack's YouTube channel a like and subscribe. Follow him on Instagram. Real quick shout out to our sponsor, the Austin Pickle Ranch. New Breaker Lane facility, 16 indoor courts, is open. Check out their website, link in my description. Huge thanks to Jack. He was super generous with his time, put his entire reputation on the line against us losers. Big thanks to Ben from Real Clear Stats, of course, one of the losers. He pulled all the data together. Thank you to the losers for coming out and playing. In the comments, be nice to them. We know we stink. That's it. Thank you.